Hello and welcome to the Video Creator Show, where we talk the juicy details of how to succeed on YouTube. And what better way than to talk directly to somebody who has done it? Troy is the certified health nut. He helps successful men who are overweight and out of shape get fit and trim holistically and organically. His channel covers all things related to health and consciousness, from holistic nutrition and Tai Chi to natural childbirth and ayahuasca shamanism in the Amazon. The certified health nut covers it all. His channel has amassed almost 130,000 subscribers and over 11 million total channel views. Today, I'll be speaking with him about how he does it, his backstory, and anything else that comes up. But first, the Video Creator Show is brought to you by VidChops.com, an editing service that helps take the burden of editing off your back. Check out VidChops.com to see how you can save yourself tons of time and energy while taking your YouTube channel to the next level. And now, we are into it. Troy, how are you doing today?
Oh my God, I'm doing amazing. I'm so happy to be here. You know, I do a lot of health shows and health related stuff, some entrepreneurial podcasts, some dad podcasts, but it's great to be in a creator podcast because this is what I love to do, and I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm sure I can share some good golden nuggets to your viewers.
Yeah, awesome, and I'm stoked. So the first thing that is very obvious with your channel is you found a way to build an audience just kind of doing things that clearly you already do. So your lifestyle, you are the certified health nut, you're all about optimizing health and being holistic about it. So how did you start your YouTube channel? Did you just start uploading videos? Did you have a master plan? Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Yes, no master plan. I'm kind of an improv guy. I had a vision in the Amazon in 2006. I had been studying natural health, herbs, herbalism, shamanism for about 20 years previous to that. Fasting, everything to really take care of the body. And I was doing stand-up comedy, improv as an actor in Los Angeles. I was shooting television commercials. And so I was in the Amazon drinking ayahuasca, and the amalgamation of my on-camera career, I was a model for many years, then a television actor, and I studied health and nutrition as a way to look and feel my best in front of the camera. And so, and I was doing stand-up comedy at the time, and an amalgamation of all that came together, and the certified health nut popped into my mind. I laughed out loud in the middle of an ayahuasca ceremony in the jungle, and the certified health nut was born. And I shit you not, I came home, I had digital footage. Remember those old cameras that you put on a little 128 stick or something? Or it was megabytes back then, remember? And so I had this camera, I had very exotic footage. I had a Shipibo Indian woman singing an ayahuasca song, an Icaro. Very powerful, loved the song, loved the feeling. I could hear the cacophony of insects. It was so loud in the background. And even hissing. There was it was probably 360p, very low technology back then. And but I popped out of the jungle and I came back to the States, and YouTube was a brand new reality. I think it started in 2005, but it was a platform where I could show my work. And I had lived in Los Angeles for at least a decade before that, and you used to have to beg people to show them your work. So student films, USC. So if you're a USC student, you raise capital for your short film. It costs $70,000 a truck to rent from Panavision. So that was all the dollies, the camera equipment, the film, the processing of the film. It was very, very expensive. And then you get a videotape, and maybe you could show a producer, a director, or a casting director your work. And so there I was, digital footage, digital platform. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And actually my first video was on a page that I opened up. It was called Amazon Troy. and I was working with an herbal company in the Amazon, and I was working with the people shamans down there, and so Amazon Troy was actually the very first video I did, and then I opened up Certified Health Nut after, and then I put my my stand-up videos up there. It was my first video on there, and so yeah, I started in 2006, and I was just so happy that digitally I could show people my stuff, and it changed the game in Hollywood. And you know, now if you look at my career, you know, the amount of views that I have, that would be like, you know, your average television person, maybe not a star, but maybe a supporting actor. A little bit, I'm a little bit known now because of the digital landscape 16 years ago. So I am so grateful for what the digital world has done for me. Even though I've got some challenges with censorship and I have other issues about the tech, I certainly love the tech and what it's done for me to get my message out there.
So how exactly has it been different being able to post directly for your audience versus having to get filtered through a system? And, you know, I know, as you said, YouTube isn't perfect, but over the years, the last 15 years, you've been able to express yourself as you want to express yourself and not have to pay $70,000 for a truck full of equipment. How do you think this has affected your artistic career?
Well, that's a good question, because there was a long time that I didn't even consider myself an artist. Now, I basically have an Andy Warhol factory, a think tank over here. I like all mediums, and video is my main medium. It exploded my artistic creativity, because not only do I make good informational videos, but I also have my business attached to it. And so I can express myself in ways that entertain people, and I can also build a business as well. So it's, you know, I'm so grateful for this podcast because I haven't really reflected. I am so grateful for the position I'm in. I am so grateful for the tech. I'm so grateful for Steve Jobs. I watched that Netflix Aaron Sorkin movie recently, and you know, he wanted to level the playing field for the common man. And lo and behold, he has done that. I dominate. I got 3 phones now, right? So I can go live on different platforms. And I literally, just riding around on my bicycle, I can dominate the space, the health space, and teach people and reach people all around the world. I think it's just a great time to be alive. Thank you for this podcast, because I don't spend enough time on the glory of tech. We all have our tech challenges, and there is censorship, and there, you know, a lot of that stuff. But boy, oh boy, you know, tech has changed the world so much, and I'm so grateful for it.
That's beautiful, man. I love to hear it, for real. So you mentioned that you have a business attached to your YouTube channel. That's definitely an aspect that we always love to dive into on this podcast. So can you talk about your personal business?
So Certified Health Nut is my brand. I own the trademark. The journey of owning that trademark has been a long process. The graphics around that, the video, the 11 million views on this platform, or on YouTube platform, and millions on other platforms. So, but as you well know, my time is very valuable, and you can't pay for the rent or for food, especially organic food for me, if you're working all the time making videos. And so, and I literally work, you know, around the clock. I'm always working because I love my work. And there was one time when I wasn't doing so well in business, and my wife came to me and she said, "You need to make more money." And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? You know, I'm an actor. I got pretty frustrated with driving around LA for castings. I hadn't booked a commercial in 4 years or so. It was right after the 2008, you know, housing crisis crunch, and we had 2 new kids. We had some challenges, and I was just like, you know, I called my friends and colleagues, and they said, you know, email marketing is really where it's at, and all that structured stuff really boggles my mind. And so it was very challenging from, about 2010, because by that time it was more than a hobby. It was a big part of going out and reaching people and connecting with people. And so monetizing my coaching services, I was working with an herbal company. I have affiliate products that I work with, products that I take myself. And so it was just very challenging getting that into a monetization situation. And I like to model myself after Gary Vee after the fact. Like, I never studied with Gary Vee, but what does he tell you to do? Hunt hashtags, acknowledge people, talk to people. I just kept on doing that and doing that and doing that. And now I have my businesses set up. I have 4 businesses. I have a merch company. I have a coaching business. I have a supplement company. What other business do I have? It eludes
So
me
many.
it eludes me at the moment, but I have ways for people to dive in more. Oh, I have an educational company too, so I sell online programs. And so I have more ways for people to upgrade their health. And so, but what I choose and love to do the most is offer my knowledge, my time, my perspective for free. I like to help millions. I like to help the masses. If you want more of my time, it's available. But I know how to value my time now. And if you want organic food delivered to your door, I offer that. If you like my merch, free speech, First Amendment stuff, then you can have a little piece of that and be part of the community. I know people enjoy that. I have my books and my online courses. And so it's just an upgrade. But other than that, I love making free content. If my viewers never buy anything, I'm so grateful that they even give me their attention, right? They pay attention. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the comments. And I'm grateful for the shares and anything else. It feeds my soul, right? I mean, I have to pay for the rent and the food, but the acknowledgement, the help. I was sedentary. My grandmother, who's 94 years old, you got her moving again with the Qigong. I did your fasting program. This happened. That changed. My gut was messed up. And then I have followers, 10, 15 years. And so that really feeds my soul. And that's the most important thing. Because I am here to change the world. And I have my President of Planet Earth platform. And my 4 solutions are free energy, gift economy, permaculture, and self-care education. And I do believe we will be in a world beyond money, and where human beings give their gifts, they give and receive their gifts. I believe that tech will replace most of our work so that we can be creators. We are powerful creators imbued with the spirit of the creator. We can create children. We can create anything that we want, that we set our minds to, like Steve Jobs or the Wright brothers. And so I do believe that that's where we're headed. We're not there yet, so I need boatloads of cash to carry on my mission. And so I work hard as an entrepreneur, and I've been able to monetize my back end, which took me 13 years. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Wow. So, okay, Let's go back to around 2008. You're struggling. Your wife is saying you should make more money. You're trying to figure it out. You haven't booked a commercial in, you said, 4 years. What was the business that you started during that time, and how did you get it to succeed when you were struggling with so many things at the time?
So, well, to be honest, I was working with an herbal company in the Amazon rainforest, and it's kind of strange because the company was set up in network marketing, or multi-level marketing is another term for it. And a lot of people have many different understandings and misunderstandings. It's a methodology of distribution. There's only 3. One is retail, the other one is wholesale to retail, and the third one is direct sales, and that's what multi-level marketing does. And so people look at me now and they think I'm successful in network marketing business because of my popularity on social media. But I am here to tell you that social media was a platform to express myself on the natural herbs and the herbal medicine that I was working with in the Amazon rainforest. And so going down and studying with the Indians, filming this exotic footage, because remember back in 2006, 2007, there was basically vegans preaching vegan utopia, and I had already had my experience with veganism and got extremely sick, so that was not health for me. And then you had young guys on steroids and not talking about their steroids and their diet. And so that was basically health on YouTube back then. And I was like, there's got to be something more better and more holistic. And so Paul Chek was the guy that I found on there. There was only a handful of us at the time. And since then, I've become a student of his and a practitioner of the Chek Institute. And also the changes in my body are directly related to my studies at the Chek Institute. So I found that on YouTube. And then I was able to develop a niche market because I was working in the Amazon with indigenous shamans, indigenous healers that worked with herbal medicine for long periods of time. And I would put the microphone in front of them, and I had other mentors, gringo mentors that were down in the Amazon, and I would interview them on the plant medicines as well. And I took them out of the rainforest. I would take them into my body. I was already healthy to a certain degree at that point, and they kept elevating my consciousness. They kept elevating my strength, my clarity. The company had an all-natural skincare line, and if you know anything about organic skincare, there is not a lot of products on the market, and this was almost 2 decades ago. And so it was very unique. I was working in the Amazon. I had wild and organic herbs. Most of the stuff on the market is garbage. The majority of the products on the market and the food on the market is substandard processed garbage, and I had very clean, pristine wild herbs from the Amazon. So filming that exotic footage gave me something important that I felt was important. There's no degenerative diseases down in the Amazon. Heart disease, stroke, diabetes, the stuff that we have up here, they don't have those problems down in nature and with access to this type of healing. They have other problems, mosquito-borne issues, trees falling on your head, snake bites. They have plenty of challenges, but they don't have the same challenges that we do up here. And so I was able to extol the virtues of these powerful plants and the healing potential of nature on YouTube. And that's really what built my career. Then my son was born. I did a lot of research on it. I didn't want to have a fucked up kid, right? I see what's out there. So I did my research on vaccines. I did my research on birthing, circumcision, and then I reported all this stuff. And a lot of these topics are controversial. I got sick as a vegan, and I spoke about that. Well, boy, oh boy, most of the internet, the health and YouTube back then was all veganism. And so, and controversy, that drives views as well. And so it's been a great experience all around, but that's how I found my niche. And I got 3,000 subscribers, or maybe 1,000 to 3,000 in those first few years, and kind of stayed there for like the longest time. But I was consistent, and I wasn't so consistent as doing a video a week or 2 videos a week. I didn't get up to that until later on in my career. But I was consistently posting, commenting on the comments, addressing my viewers' questions. I was engaged. Even if I wasn't producing videos, I was commenting on other people's videos. And I know that all that drives the algorithms. And so, that was kind of my process, and then the ups and downs of life. And I chose the path of authenticity and vulnerability and really shared some of my most intimate moments, water birth with my child, and then subsequent videos with my ex-wife, who's now my ex-wife. I remarried her on ayahuasca after 2 years of divorce. I put that on my YouTube channel, so I went back to the jungle.
Wow.
And so you can see my 16 years of progression. I like being open, honest, authentic, and vulnerable. I do believe the new commodity is authenticity, and the new economy is based on collaboration. That is my true belief and summation of studying everything that's going on right now.
I totally agree. And so clearly, a foundation of your success is knowing your purpose and tapping into it and being able to connect with a really deep part of yourself. So I know you use, you've mentioned it a few times now, ayahuasca, plant medicines, you do a lot of breathing techniques, you have plenty of videos on your channel where you're doing them. Can you give some advice on how to tap into these things? Because I think especially with YouTube, as you said, authenticity is essentially the new currency. And I think it's essential to really know who you are and what you really want. So can you give some advice to people about how to be more like you, where you're being exactly who you are? I mean, you're doing this interview with the molecular hydrogen thing. Is that what it is? Your breathing apparatus there? You don't give a fuck, and it's awesome, and I love it.
Yes, this is molecular hydrogen. It's the most studied molecule. Thousands of peer review journals recently, papers and peer review journals on this. Somebody sent me this machine. So one of my viewers actually sent me this machine. It's from Japan. It's not cheap. It's like $2,500. I don't sell it. He didn't sell it either. He saved himself. He had 300 tumors, and this is the thing that helped him heal. His dad had glaucoma. He says his dad healed from that as well at 84. So, and I like to breathe it. So, and I don't sit I don't sit very often for long periods at all. So, while I'm on the podcast, I'm going to breathe it. And so, some tips for the viewers. Again, ask that question. Authenticity, right? Finding your passion.
Yeah, how to tap into authenticity.
So I think the first and foremost, and I put this in my book, Ripped at 50, A Journey to Self-Love. The first chapter is about legacy and really how to find out where you are. I wish I had read this book out of high school because I went to college and I'm like, oh, where's the money? Okay, college, science and math. Okay, and then I didn't do that, and I got into modeling, and that was a soulless business, and I hated it, and so I used to drink a lot and got all up into that, and I was just chasing money because I didn't know what else to do. And so I think the best thing for you to do is figure out what the heart desires. And so figure out what your effortless genius is. And that is usually based in what you love to do, right? Some people like to ride horses. Some people like to, train dogs. Some people like to take care of children. Some people like to make children like me. Everyone has their own inner genius. And so I have 3 exercises in my book. The best one that you could do right now is write your eulogy. Okay, your mom's up there, God forbid it's your mom, or your best friend. You're dead as a doornail, right? Face that fact. Live a life worth living, but you got to accept death before you can do that, right? And so know that you're going to die. Okay, all right, great, I'm going to die. Let me write my eulogy. My best friend's up there on the podium. I'm dead right in there. This is the life that my friend lived. Become the author of your own life. Become the authority of your own life. Thought, words, action manifest in the flesh. You get those words on paper. Get the ideas out of your mind, but they should come from your heart. And the mind is a tool. You program the mind. If we get trapped in the mind as we are today with too much information, too much video consumption, and we're not living it embodied, the mind is a trap. You will bore holes in your stomach. That's called ulcers or ulcerative colitis. You can literally think yourself into illness. And so figure out what the heart wants. I have done a lot of research in psychology. We all want peace, at the heart level. And so if that's the case, okay, what is it that I love to do? What is it that I want to express? What is it that I want to achieve? What is the legacy that I want to leave? And write that down, because that's your guiding light. That's your due north. I'm in Arizona right now. If I want to go to San Francisco and I don't have a map and I start driving towards New Mexico, I may get to San Francisco, but it might not be in a timely manner, right? I may go in circles for a while until I get that map, until I know where I'm going. And that is what your purpose, your dream, your legacy, which is chapter 1 of my book. It helps you map that out. And then from there, what are your core values to achieve your dream? I personally need organic food as a baseline. I need pure water. I need the cleanest, purest water I can get as a baseline. I need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I need quiet time. I need to love and hug on my children. I need to ride my bicycle and move my body throughout the day. These are baseline necessities just to be me. And so I've gotten very clear. I need a bank load of cash to operate. So, because a bank load of cash gives you a big dick, you can walk down the street and you don't have to take shit from others, right? And so,
right.
These things are things that I need as a man to feel strong in the place. And so now I can work around it without money, and I did that for years. I can work around it not having the right food and nutrition and the right people in my life, but I know I'm much more optimized if I have all these other baseline things in place. So find out what your core values are, build out your lifestyle, your dream lifestyle, and make sure everybody that is around you is on your dream team. Right? Make sure that they're champions and cheerleaders of you. There's a symbiotic law of reciprocity going on. And so if people aren't lifting you up, life's too hard. Cut those fuckers loose. Even if it's your family. You know, how many times your family puts you down? And so when I talk to my kids, I'm like, you're great. You're going to be great. You can do whatever you want. Dream big. You know, I pump them up. So I want people around me that are going to help me do that, the same thing. So get your core values, figure out what your heart desires, figure out what your effortless genius is, what you love to do, and go in that direction. Now, don't quit your day job. You may need a waiter gig or a bartender gig just to get, you know, I was an actor, right? You think you just moved to Hollywood and the phone starts ringing with 3-picture deals? I'm here to tell you that doesn't happen regularly. Even Johnny Depp, you know, he had good success, but he was in a band first, right? Things take their process. So that didn't happen for me in Hollywood. So I had to become this person. Now my Hollywood career is playing out. My acting, my improv, my comedy is all expressed on the internet how I see fit. I don't have to wait for the director. I am the director. I am the producer. I am the writer. I have my distribution platforms that I can put up there, but I am basically my own movie studio. And so get very clear on what you want and then work to monetize it, because doing what you love and monetizing it are two different things. So keep your day gig until you can get your side gig to be your main gig.
Great advice. And I think one thing I'd like to add to that as well is, you know, let's say somebody, they figure out their core values and then that spurs them to want to work towards something. So in your case, you know, you wanted to be an actor in LA, and that was not going the way that you wanted, but instead of like beating your head against a wall and trying to make that work in that very rigid system, you started expanding. You started kind of opening your mind and looking at all these other different avenues. And I think one thing people can get stuck on is they have this dream, and they think that if they accomplish that dream, then they are going to feel how they want to feel on the inside. But all that dream really is, I think, is it's like the next step of your life, of your journey. And even if that dream doesn't happen the way that you want it to, I think what often happens is it still opens you up to these experiences that you needed to have, and it might show you a different way to go. So it's like this weird balance of knowing what you want, going for it, but then also being open-minded with, you know, maybe there's other things I want to do too. Maybe this isn't the end-all be-all, It doesn't mean don't work towards it. It just also means be willing to expand your horizons if other opportunities present themselves. And yeah, does that make sense? That's kind of been my philosophy over the years. I'm constantly willing to pivot and not give up, but just to, if something that's a little up and to the left of what I originally wanted presents itself, I'm going to go for it.
Yes. I mean, originally I thought I was developing a television show, and then I got hired to work on Discoveries off my YouTube channel, by the way, back in 2008. And so here's the thing. I want to speak into the nuance and caveat of what you're talking about. Oftentimes, people will go, I tell them the heart's desire, but what they'll do is, how will I monetize that? So they'll marginalize their dream. Oh, I can't make money with that. And then they'll say, well, this is better, and this is my dream, and let me monetize this. But that's not what I'm talking about. You want to look at your life or your career or what it is that you love to do. If the world was to change or money was no longer an issue, would you still be doing that? Because if the answer is no, you're barking up the wrong tree. And I know this because I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. I train entrepreneurs in my superfood business, on my online affiliate business. Mm-hmm. If it isn't your dream, you won't last. If it is your dream, it will eventually come to fruition. It's the journey of becoming. All knowledge is knowledge of self. So, look, it took me 13 years to crack the entrepreneurial code to where I have enough money coming in to produce everything, whether I work or not, right? I got the mailbox money, right? And so that wasn't an easy job, but the entrepreneurial path is not an easy job. That level of success is not an easy job. It took me 13 years. If making health videos wasn't my thing, I would have quit a long time ago. But it is my thing. It's my effortless genius. People come up to me and ask me business advice all the time. Sedona, Arizona, I'm pretty well known here. They see me. And I want to help the young Padawan entrepreneur, the health person, the healer. I really want to see these people succeed. Come to find out, well, I don't like making videos, and I don't like being in front of the camera, and this excuse and that excuse, and social media is too hard, and blah, blah. Great. That's not your path. It's the same thing with your dream, and follow your dream and your path. If something doesn't work for you, stop trying to stick your square peg in a round hole. Instagram's a tool. Mm-hmm. YouTube's a tool. But if it doesn't work for you, find another path. Well, what I find out when I'm interviewing a lot of people, a girlfriend came over recently. She wants to write a book. She wanted my advice. And this is actually a common occurrence. She figured she was the world's best, this, that, or the other thing. And I said, okay, great. So can you get on a podcast? Can you explain that? Can you get on a video? Can you do that? Can you start your own podcast and share? Because if nobody knows who you are, how are people going to find that out? If you write a book and you're not J.K. Rowling, just because you're Amazon bestseller in your niche category and maybe you sold 100 books, that doesn't make you a bestseller. Nobody's going to know who you are. If you want to be a world-class X, Y, and Z, you're going to have to get over there. Well, lo and behold, she just didn't want to be in front of the camera and put herself out there at all. So that is the wrong path. So still back to my question. Is it that you want to be this world-renowned X, Y, and Z? And I postulate it's not. That's not what she wants to be. That's not her specialty. She'd like to get that notoriety and that money and that cash flow and that notoriety, but that's not really who she is. So back to authenticity. Dig deeper. I love my ex-wife. She left me because I didn't have money. She came back and took a bunch of money, and then we moved to Sedona. She wanted to be a famous healer. She don't want to be a famous healer. She wants the money that's coming in for that, but that's not who she is. I know, because the kids report back to her. It's a big pain in the ass. Building a career that you don't love?
It's the worst.
Well, no
it's
shit.
The worst.
Well, you should know yourself. If you don't love what you're doing, this is a pain in the ass. What's the back end payout? I had to wait. I'm 16 years deep into it. 2006. I'm 17 years deep into this. I love what I do, and I don't care. Like, I'll still be doing this, whether I'm broke or not. I'll be making, hey, Curtis, film this. Well, this will make them laugh. You know, here I go on my bike. Woo! You know, this will make them laugh. Look at this beautiful scenery, right? Let's find some joy in life. Let's spread joy in the world. I'll be doing that till the cows come home. Even if the economy completely collapses, I'll be sourcing organic food. I'll be looking under shrubs. As long as these digital devices work, I'll be making people laugh.
Hell yeah. I mean, so clearly you've figured out your effortless genius and how you like to present yourself on YouTube out in the world. I think that's somewhat of a rare thing where people are able to kind of be themselves, especially for me. So my channel, Treesicle, it's a video game channel. For many years, I kind of played a character where I was, I don't know, maybe a bit edgier than I normally am talking. I didn't exactly have a natural speaking voice when I was presenting myself in these videos, and it worked for a while. I did very well, but ultimately, kind of as I got further and further down that path, I started to get exhausted, really tired. And then we started kind of covering topics that would do really well and would pay well, but then I got really tired of those games, and I think the point here is just, there's so many twists and turns. Like, even when you reach a level of success, you might find yourself not wanting to maintain that. You're just like tired of it. You've built this thing, you can get the money if you put in the work, but then you still go home and you're tired and you're not feeling it, and then it's like, well, what was the point? Should I have just done a 9-to-5 job anyway? Do you have any points in your life where you kind of felt that way, where you built something to a point and it was successful, but then you didn't really feel like doing it, and then you had to pivot after that?
Well, I think some elements of that are happening to me right now. So I have a marketing team to help me. I'm being censored extensively, and so I actually have to pull my free speech back on these commercial platforms, and we're developing Rumble and Telegram and my own coaching platform on Zoom where I can express myself. And in the meantime, they have used these search engines or these plug-in tools that will, what's the most search, depression, hair loss, anxiety, gut health, these types of things. And then they'll present. Now, I have normally not compartmentalized myself, and I do see the tremendous value in the views, the new people that see my work, the people that click through and become customers of mine and subsequently change their life. They read my book, etc. But there is a little bit of a not a canned response, but a canned package of that. And I'm also getting a little sick of watching myself as well. And so I'm getting more into prayer. I'm finding spiritually, I'm working on more humility, more gentility, more kindness, more understanding, these types of things. And so I'm getting a little sick of my histrionics, and I'm observing that. It's not abject, but it's been in my crosshairs for the last couple of months, especially when I'm working with the new marketing team. And so I do like more organic material. But again, this comes as a response to me being censored. If I go live and start speaking my mind, that's dangerous, right? They don't want people healthy and free, right? They want them sick and consuming their products. And drug companies and agribusiness companies are multinational corporations that are intertwined. Media, weapons companies, oil manufacturers, these 5 industries, banking, they're all intertwined. And they like to keep the status quo, which is keep you dumb and stupid and sick. And so, so if I speak into that, lo and behold, ixnay, I get censored, and I got completely deplatformed off of TikTok. I wasn't even into TikTok because I know it's all spy technology, and I don't like communism, and I don't like what Mao Zedong did to his people, and I see that potential happening right now. And so, but my marketing team was like, all right, we get more eyeballs, and we do it. And okay, so I was on there, and I was like, their live engine was like, I got 15,000 people on there, 95% and more people in my category. And I'm like, woo, it's party time. And so I'm doing Qigong and I'm having a good blast. And I one time I was talking about the immune system and health and, what's going on in the world. And boom, I got like 7 days in jail. And I'm like, God, I've only been on TikTok 1 month. And so I was like, okay. And then 4th of July, I bought my son a new AR-15, and it's 4th of July. We're in Arizona. It's constitutional state. And I want to test these things out. I want to make sure there's gun safety and all that. And I was talking a little shit about the CCP, and boy, oh boy, I got deplatformed. So being myself doesn't really work. I need help with marketing and business advisors now, and that can help contain that, because we are in the middle of a book burning. There is no doubt about that. You cannot talk about natural immunity. In fact, look at the hashtag natural immunity. It's been wiped off the internet. Well, why is that? Well, I told you, they want you sick. They want you consuming their products. And so I am making that adjustment. I'd like to be the sage with my beard back there and be Sadhguru. I'm just not that motherfucker, right? So, but I am becoming, because I am getting sick of certain things, and my own authenticity is going to drive me. I think Madonna has had a very long career where she just kept reinventing herself. And I think that's a natural progression of life. I've achieved so many things at one level. I worked in the Amazon. That was a powerful experience. I was down there for 8 years, back and forth, and filming and researching these plants, and selling and advising these plants and helping people with their health. And miracles happened, and it was such a lovely experience. And then I pivoted. Things changed. I wasn't working with that company anymore. I had to find something new. And I did go through a bout of depression during that time. And that was when my wife was on me to make more money as well. And so, always pivoting. But my goal in business right now is to get my platforms, my businesses, my multiple streams of income set up so it's impervious. I have a trust fund set up for my children. And then I continue, because at my age, I'm 56, I'll be 57 this year. Eventually we wear out, we die, we go back into the spirit world. So I choose to work on my spirituality, coming out of this. And I don't want to do the hokey stuff that I see on the internet. Now we're going to breathe. And this is what, I'm not that type of presenter. I grew up on the street. I got a lot of military buddies. I'm a man's man. I like to be straight, zero fluff, pretense, or affectation on my channel. And so, and I also, I've learned a lot about my strong language and my aggressiveness, and I want to temper that and become the sage, not outwardly, inwardly, and share my journey that way. And so I think it's just a natural progression. I think you enjoyed your video games. I think that character was cool for the moment, and then you grew out of it. Look at Logan Paul and Jake Paul. These human beings are completely different. Now, I didn't study their career early on, but I'm sure they were, I don't know. I don't know what their real channel was, but they got enough.
They've changed a lot.
Sure. Now they're fighters and podcasters. And, Logan's a podcaster. Their dad's a friend of mine, Greg. Big shout out to Greg Paul. And so, but look, there's a progression of those guys. Rudy Mancuso, another friend of mine. There's a progression with him. Hannah Stocking, another friend of mine on Instagram. she's growing. She's still got her old stick, right? I'd like to see her evolve a little bit more. But I think we're all ever evolving. And if you stick to your authenticity, no, you don't need to pander to your audience because you were that guy. I'm working on my swearing. That's one of the reasons my ex-wife, left me, or so she says, whatever. And so, and I like swearing. You want to cut through the BS, a good fuck will stop that stuff. And I think that is God's gift to man is, real harsh language, right? You want to be angry to somebody who's poisoning the children's food. You want to be angry, if somebody's hurting the children and harming the women. You want to have that male aggression to be able to speak up. And so I need to yin-yang that, right? And temper that and walk that razor's edge. So that's where I'm going with my career, finding my way. Breathwork was very popular when I went through my divorce. I was sleeping on my couch, paranoid, anxious, losing my mind. Like, what the hell am I going to do with my life? And breathwork grounded me. So why not do breathwork on the platform? It's helping me. Lo and behold, it helps millions of people. And so, okay, so whatever I'm going to do, maybe I get more into meditation. Maybe I get more into, I don't know, but I will film it. I promise you.
Yeah, I think there's this obsession with the idea of making it, and that if you hit some threshold, then you'll be good to go. You'll have all the money you need, you'll have the recognition you need, and then from there you can just kind of coast. That seems to be the kind of subconscious dream of a lot of people who are trying to realize their potential. And that you're shaking your head because it's not feasible. Like, you're never going to truly make it. Yes, you can hit these successes, you will have peaks, and that will feel good, but ultimately you're really just trying to realize your true self here, and that never stops. It never stops, until the day you stop breathing, and then even after that, things continue anyway. So you just kind of have to accept that it's never going to stop. You will grow as a person, and you will get better. I think sometimes when I talk about this, it can feel futile to people maybe, but that's not really the point. The point is you will grow, and you will overall tend towards a better version of yourself, but don't be expecting to, hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and then think, oh, well, this is it. I've done it. I'm coasting now. You're always going to need to reinvent yourself. Maybe you'll have periods of time where you're very comfortable and you're feeling good, but those times won't last. And that's okay. That's actually better because it makes you grow, and it makes you develop internally versus just kind of becoming this soft, doughy, comfortable person that has everything they need.
Yeah, it's a misnomer. Even in the spiritual world, right? You go... You learn, and I see this on the internet too. People they're into the Quran, they're into yoga, they're into this. Oh, I've arrived, and then lo and behold, years later, they go back to Jesus, or they do this, or they do that, and so we never arrive, right? We never arrive. It's a journey of becoming. All knowledge is knowledge of self, and so, and for me, because I struggled for so long, I think it's very important that I build big business, that I build infrastructure, multiple businesses, just in case economies go up and down, this, that, and the other thing. And so the challenges I have had, you would think when I got divorced the first time, I did a lot of hypnosis around money, around my programming around money, around marketing. I prayed a lot because I was, also I'm 50. My wife left me. I felt terrible about myself. And so I was like, a 50-year-old man, I got to get this money piece. And so I stuck my nose to the grindstone, and I achieved that. I got my wife back, and she took off with a bunch of money. It's crazy. And she lied to the cops and dragged me into civil court. It's actually been pretty funny, and I've used it as a positive. Where else are you going to get these opportunities to be ripped off at that high level? Grand larceny. Where else are you going to be able to somebody's attacking you. Now I have the resources to fight that person, and I can learn. You know, legally I've set myself up with trust fund. I'm looking in the common law. I'm understanding. I've gone down a whole other echelon of big boy stuff, right? It's time to put on your big boy pants. And I've talked to my mentors. Paul Chek got sued by Disney. Jane and Tarzan's workout or whatever, men and women are different, and he got the copyright and everything, and he got it all boxed up with his copyright attorney. 2 years later, Disney came along, sued him, and he couldn't even make it go away without $50,000. So you never arrive. You get to that next level, and here's a whole bunch of challenges. Now, I will tell you, it is very nice having the confidence of having good resources behind you and having good income coming in, and to set up barriers that are recession proof. Luckily, I'm in a business that is recession proof. When things go down, people pay attention to their health. Gym membership, same thing. They don't let them go. My brother was in the gym business for many years. And so luckily I've set myself up for that. It feels incredible to have that. And I look back at the time when I was living on my floor, my children, divorced. I had to move into a one-bedroom. And I didn't regret that. It's one thing I've learned on all my journeys is gratitude will set you free. Because when I was living in hell and problems with my ex-wife and facing divorce, and I was like, wait a second, we live in Santa Monica? It's a vacation destination? I only eat organic food? My children are in a Waldorf private school? We only eat organic food? We have brand new cars? I don't care what the future looks like, but we are in heaven. I just started writing my gratitude, Tony Robbins style. My brother turned me on to this, challenged me to this. Gratitude. I did this for a year and a half straight. 3 things I was grateful for. So much to be grateful. Now I'm just constantly grateful about everything. Win, lose, or draw. And so, look, I'm not afraid of destitution anymore. And in the meantime, I'm extremely happy to make boatloads of cash because I'm happy to have that to change the world. I'm here to get my mission done, and I need boatloads of cash to do that.
Beautiful. And I mean, so I think it's cool that you've been able to tell yourself these things in these really trying periods of life. I mean, I'm sure it was frustrating making all this money and then, you know, getting a lot of it taken away during a divorce. And I think, do you feel this also tested your limits in a lot of ways where, you know, do these breathing techniques, like, obviously they work really well, but I think the real test of whether it's meditation or exercise or whatever the exercise is to ground you, the real test is always, can you maintain that during periods of really intense stress? And can they keep you from going over the edge? And can they keep you heading in the right direction? And I've always found with things like that, they do. And it's like a real, I think it speaks to the power of these exercises, whether it is breath work or meditation or whatever. It's a place to fall back to. You said when times get tough, people focus on their health. You know, for the last 2 years, I've been focusing on my health, my mental health, and I feel like it's given me a lot of clarity, despite the fact that 2 years ago, I felt like I was at a low. Like, I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I took a step back from my channel. Everything was very confusing. Society was very wonky. You know, it was, but I fell back into meditation, breath work, exercise, and now I'm feeling better than ever. So I think it's, this idea of pivoting seems to come up a lot on this podcast. And I'm always, when I feel like I've gotten over the worst part, I end up being really grateful for those really negative times, even though at the time, they just suck. I mean, they straight up suck, for sure.
They suck, and I've been meditating on the enjoyment of the suck, right? Because life is never perfect. I practiced Vipassana meditation for many years, insight meditation. And how often do the things we want in life happen? Well, sometimes they don't, right? And how often do we don't want things to happen? and lo and behold, they happen. This is basically, it's always, right? And so that's why it's very important to stay steadfast to your dreams, clarify your core values. So what you're explaining is basically my whole channel. Instead of being a jaded asshole, right? I grew up on the street. My dad left me on the side of the road. I had challenges in the modeling industry, got into alcoholism, sobered up. I got divorced, married a beautiful woman, got divorced, married her, again, well, ceremonially. We never got remarried on paper, thank God. And so I don't believe in marriage. I didn't in the first place, but she needed a green card, and we were making a family together. So we went down that road. But my biggest thing is not to be a jaded asshole, or not to be an asshole in general. That's why I do the meditation. That's why I do the breath work. That's why I eat the way I do. I had a messed up gut for 20 years. My whole journey, my book is all about my 30-year journey of perfecting my gut, of fine-tuning my gut, of finding out what's up with my gut, of knowledge. All knowledge is knowledge of self. That took me, 30 years of discovery. And I've reported that on my YouTube channel. And these practices that I use, Qigong lowers stress levels and achieves your movement pillar. You need to move your body every day, just as you need pure water, just as you need organic, real food. So these things are, baseline. You need to optimize your breathing mechanics if you want optimal health. And so everything that I've filmed is my journey on this. And that's why, my lifestyle is so great. All I have to do is film it, and that is my business, because it's a healthy lifestyle. I go out for a ride on my bike. I go to ecstatic dance. I talk and interview my children, or eat food. I do the Korean mukbang with my children. My children are half Korean, so we do the mukbang and stuff. And so this is all joy. So I'm only sharing my own daily routine, my morning routine, which happens to be all day. So I am not an asshole out in the world, right? I don't want to be a jaded asshole, like women are all fucked up and they can divorce you and take all your money and all that. I don't want to be that guy, right? And so I don't want to be like, oh, the sky is falling and the world is fucked. And, I'm like that a little bit. And that's kind of what gets me censored sometimes. And so my team's like, no, stick to the easy health stuff. But my channel is health and consciousness. If we are not aware of the saber-toothed tiger or the pool of cesium-6 toxic industrial waste over there, and somebody's got to sound the alarm. And so I vacillate the yin-yang between sounding the alarm and being, Pollyanna and being like, life is great. And, but the food supply and the air supplies, they're poisoning it, So it's that constant yin-yang balance. And again, back to, we've never arrived. You can pivot. You can pivot internally, right? You can pivot externally. It sounds like you did an incredible internal pivot. You went and took care of yourself, which is number one, which is what I teach. It's not selfish. It's actually a selfless act to take care of number one first, because then you have the ability to go out and serve others when you take care of yourself. And look, you express that happiness. And it's the hellfire and the negativity that takes us down to the point where got to do something different. So bless it all. This is the human condition. This is the human journey. All knowledge is knowledge of self. There's two forces that are guiding us: yin, yang, positive, negative, inhalation, exhalation, masculine, feminine, catabolic, anabolic. The ancient sages have always said balance. Walk the razor's edge. The pendulum swings both ways. I'm into no pornography, right? But no pornography, right, can total abstinence can turn into complete debauchery. So watch that pendulum swing. And so, just ride that balancing wave. Be honest with yourself. Look in the mirror. Look in the toilet bowl. These are the real diagnostic tools that I teach people, because there are the basic answers. So I appreciate you sharing your journey. I think that's so important. If we all just shared, our journey, we'd find more connection instead of being like, I'm a health influencer and today I'm going to teach you. Or the entrepreneur wizard. You see that Tate guy coming up on
Yeah.
YouTube now, right? Mark my word, it's going to be short-lived. He came out of nowhere. I would probably say the same thing about Liver King. It's not going to last forever. I got 16 years in the can, right? I'm here till the cows come home. I'm being me right on camera. Those other guys, a lot of it's manufactured. And that is, like you said earlier, unsustainable.
Sure. Well, Troy, this has been awesome. I have loved hearing your perspective. You got a lot of energy, a good vibe. I really appreciate your time with me here today. So why don't you tell people like where they can find you? I mean, obviously your YouTube channel, The Certified Health Nut, but is there anything else you'd like to promote, pitch, whatever it is? Go for it.
Thank you so much. Certified Health Nut is branded across the internet. CertifiedHealthNut.com, TroyCasey.com. We are working on a new platform right now. Ripped at 50 book is available on Amazon.com. Please read my book. The Kindle version is cheapest. I do have hardcovers here at Certified Health Nut Central if you desire a collector's edition. My merch company, shopchngear.com. Wait till they start ushering in these climate change lockdowns. I got a great Sasquatch with an American flag, Catch Me Outside. And so different expressions of free speech. If something tickles your fancy, get something over there at shopchngear.com. And stay tuned to CertifiedHealthNut.com and TroyCasey.com because my new book, Brave New Man, Face Yourself, is coming out in the spring. I got a Netflix special coming out with Chad and JT. That's coming out in the fall as well. Yeah, just good stuff. And you know, write a comment in the box and let me know something else that I could inspire you guys. And I'm here to serve and help. And thank you so much. And God bless everyone.
There you have it, everybody. The Certified Health Nut. And that is our episode of the Video Creator Show today. Whatever platform you're on, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is, so that you will not miss the next episode. Once again, thanks so much, Troy. I had a blast. Bye, everybody.